Gang, congratulations, man. Your donations unlocked a killer diller extra life interview. And this one
Woo!
is the bee's knees. Let me tell you, man, he's an actor, a producer, a creative consultant at Archie Comics, the grandson of one of the original founders, and yes, a guy who has literally walked the streets of Riverdale on the CW, man. Please welcome Jet Setter, Joy Bringer, Jesse Goldwater.
Well, I got nothing to say, man. That was an incredible intro. That was a mic drop. That's going into the forever chest, man. So thank you for that, man. I think I've achieved the peak of everything I'm going to achieve in my life after that intro. So thank you.
Well, dude, I'm just super excited that you're on the show, man.
It was my pleasure. I thank you so much for inviting me on and for everything that you're doing. I mean, I was so honored and moved that you asked me to do it. And I think it's just such an incredible thing that you're doing here, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be a part of it. So thank you.
Well, man, thanks for taking the time out to do this. Extra Life is all about gaming, and I'm not a
Yeah.
big gamer at all. Like, I'll play the games, but I kind
Yeah.
of get bored really easily. It's
I'll make
fascinating.
up for it. I'm a huge gamer, so we're perfect here. We're balancing each other out.
Right on, man. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So,
You may be able to see it. I got my Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time, one-up
ooh,
arcade machine behind me.
pizza power. See, those are the games I'm into, man. It's
Yeah.
like the arcade games or the pinball, dude. Pinball all day long. It's some of the newer stuff that I've tried to play, and it's like a 45-minute movie, and then it's
Yeah.
like press X to like open the door. You're like, what the hell is this?
Totally.
I'd much rather do the arcade stuff. But playing games for 24 hours,
Yeah.
I got bored. Me being hired out at comic conventions, I started meeting all these great celebrities and
Yeah.
artists and things. And I'm like, dude, why don't you just show up at Extra Life? Maybe that'll bump up some
Totally.
donations and I don't have to play games the whole time.
You get to help people out and do some good stuff for some people out there who need it. And at the same time, you get to do the fun stuff for you. And for the gamers, they get to do the fun stuff of playing.
Yeah, perfect. So it
Yeah.
works out beautifully.
Totally.
You and I actually connected
Yeah.
because of The Adventure
Yeah.
Begins, Comics and Games in Conroe, Texas.
Everybody go check it out. If you haven't been, if you're down there, please go check it out. Please support the store. It's an incredible shop.
Thanks, man. It was through Comics Pro. I
Yeah.
jumped on and you guys were talking about this awesome meetup with Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah.
And our cover, which you can see here.
Which, by the way, I was saying to Chaz before we started the interview, he knows this, and I've said it a bunch of times, but I really mean it. It's one of my absolute favorite covers we did. We did 50, 57 or something like that. It broke the record for variant covers for an Archie comic by like a billion miles. And
Yeah.
Chaz's cover there is one of my absolute favorites. I think it's just incredible, and
Yeah,
it's just so great.
that's me.
There you are, man. You made it into the Archie Riverdale View Askew mashup, man. You're officially canon as well.
I know, right? Isn't that cool, dude? Like,
Yeah,
never in a million years would I ever think that would be part of Archie, but I'm
yeah.
super thrilled and I love this book. And every time I see it, it brings joy to my heart. This is done by Flynn Prajon of Bad Moon Studios. Make sure you go check out all of his stuff as well. This book has been selling like gangbusters at the shop. The Archie gang does a lot of crossovers. How
Yeah.
did this happen?
So to your point, Archie's done a lot of crossovers over the years, whether it's Archie meets Kiss, Archie meets Predator, which was also done by Fernando Ruiz, who did the art on Jay and Silent Bob. There's, of course, one of the most legendary crossovers in the history of comics, Archie meets Punisher. So Archie's had a long history, but I think now what is the most legendary crossover in the history of comics is Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob. The way it came about was I've loved everything Kevin's done my whole life. I just seeing Clerks was such a defining moment for me.
I'm 37?
It just set me on a course of things I wanted to do with my life, with storytelling, with art, with film, with just media in general. I just went, man, if that guy could tell a story like that on his own, anyone can do it. And he inspired so many people, with what he achieved with Clerks and then the rest of the View Askewverse.
Snoogans.
I was walking around San Diego Comic-Con 2024 with a mutual friend of ours, our good friend Jeremy. I knew Jeremy knew Kevin for quite a long time, and they were texting while me and Jeremy were walking around. And I had the idea for Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob in the back of my mind for like quite a long time. And I went, whatever you believe in, the universe, some higher power, kismet, karma, whatever you guys believe in. I said to myself, this is the universe talking to me. And I said, this is the moment, shoot your shot. And I said to my friend Jeremy, I said, hey man, can you text Kevin right now and ask him, would he be interested in doing an Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob crossover? I was like, let me speak it into existence and see what happens. Immediately, Kevin wrote back, I'm in. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is incredible. He was like, how would this work? And he was super into it. And he's like, I'm down for whatever. And I said, look, my dream would be for you to write it, if you're interested. And he's like, absolutely, I'm in. Of course, I'm going to write it. I was like, great. It was such an amazing call. And he was just so gracious and it was just so exciting. We got off the call, and then a week later, it was December 23rd. I remember it specifically. December 23rd. It was 7:30 in the morning, and I'm up and I'm available and working and whatever. But it's getting on holiday time, and I was like, "Who's texting me at 7:30 in the morning on December 23rd?" And I saw it was Kevin. He didn't say anything. He just sent a full PDF of the finished script. He just after our call just sat down and wrote the whole thing,
Wow.
and it was incredible. He sent it over and we were off to the races.
Let's get creative!
I always kind of knew the creative team in mind. So I kind of always thought Fernando would be a good fit for it. And he's obviously an Archie legend. Morelli and Herms and the rest of the guys on the book. It just kind of that part all came together very clearly. But yeah, that's kind of how it happened. I just threw something out there and Kevin being the greatest guy ever, he was like, I'm in.
Snoochie boochies.
So that's how it came to be, and now it's real and in stores. So pretty cool.
Kevin is such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
I've run into him more than a handful of times. Managing a comic book store, I get confused for that man for a split second when new people
Yep.
walk in and see me behind the counter. Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah. No, definitely there's a little resemblance, connection, vibe, energetical forces in the best way going on between you guys for sure.
This was our very first store variant. We hadn't done one before. Some of them just didn't seem right. When I heard about it, I went to the main man in charge. I was like, forever gonna do one. This is it, because I'll
Yeah.
just promote the crap out of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people, when we said that this was coming out, some were perplexed and confused, and
Yeah.
like we know that they've teamed up with like the Ramones and Predator, Jay and Silent Bob.
Yep.
Like I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Isn't it
It's
great?
it's so good because it doesn't veer like one way or the other. Like everybody is true to their characters. You know what I mean?
Exactly, exactly. And I say this specifically with like Archie story stuff, whether it's crossovers, whether it's the different versions of Archie that we've done in the comics, the horror stuff, or Life with Archie, or whatever it is. It's you can really kind of bend the world around Archie, but if you stay true to the characters, pretty much almost 100% of the time it's going to work. It's like the characters, the reason why they've endured for so long is you got to stay true to who they are. There's something universal about them that speaks to people. I've sort of found that the more you kind of stay true to who they are as what they represent as characters, you can kind of then play with it. And Kevin just being such a brilliant writer, he just inherently understands that. To your point, you bring in Jay and Silent Bob and Randall and everybody from the View Askew universe, and they are who they are. And it's so fun to kind of see them play together and almost be like Archie's obviously a fish out of water when he's in the quick stop, but it's like they're kind of like fish out of water with each other when they're, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
He's got too much free time and no life.
There's a Josie and the Pussycats concert that occurs, and Jay and Silent Bob show up, and let's just say they're fish out of water at the Josie concert. You know what I mean? And it's really fun to see them all play off of each other. I always thought, thematically, what Kevin's movies were about, to me, were ultimately about the importance of friendship and the people in your life and how much ultimately, as crazy as they may be or this or that, it's like you all love each other. You know what I mean? You're all together, and I always thought that was something really powerful, and that's what Archie's about. So thematically, they're kind of very connected. They do it in different ways, but ultimately, I just thought from a storytelling standpoint, it made so much sense. It was really fun to see it kind of come together.
Matt, Matt, Matt. Matt, Matt, Matt. Matt, Matt, Matt. Matt, Matt, meow.
We're celebrating our 85th anniversary in 2026.
Dude, that is so awesome. You guys have something big coming out or
Yeah, we've got a
planned?
bunch of stuff coming. I'll tease just that. We've got some more cool crossover stuff coming, of course. And then we've got a bunch of 85th anniversary plans in the comics, which are really cool. And we're going to have some really big announcements coming soon, hopefully before the end of the year.
You're the grandson of J.L. Goldwater and the son
Yes.
of John Goldwater, the literal family tree that built Archie Comics. Do you remember like the earliest moment where you realized your family had like shaped pop culture?
That's a great question. My grandfather came in to speak to my third grade class. And he came with Victor Gorlick. If you guys, know Victor, he's an Archie legend and worked at the company for 50 plus years. And he passed away right before COVID. But I knew Victor my entire life. Incredible legend of Archie Comics and the comic book industry in general. And my grandfather and Victor came in, and Victor did a drawing for the class. And to see the other kids, like, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't realize it, but they were asking all these different questions. And one girl was a big fan of Little Jinx and all sorts of different stuff. So it was really cool for me to realize, like, oh, like for them to see, like, in their minds, like a celebrity walk in, it was very cool. So that was the moment for me. I was whatever, 7, 8 years old, something like that. That was the moment where I went, oh, okay, this means something to people.
People assume a legacy equals pressure.
Yeah.
For you, what's the biggest benefit from your family history and what's been like the biggest challenge, if there has been any?
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I think the biggest benefit is, and I truly mean this, is meeting people like you and getting connected with just wonderful people that just love this stuff in the same way that I do. And I don't just mean literally Archie, I mean comic books, I mean pop culture, I mean movies, I mean music, I mean the things that kind of connect us all together. That's the thing that I love the most is like being at a convention and talking to people and like seeing what they're into. And, when I was a kid, I was really into anime. Anime has obviously, in terms of pop culture relevance, changed quite a bit in our lifetimes. I was a weirdo watching fan sub VHS tapes. Everyone was like, what is that? And I went to Anime Expo and there was 150,000 people at the convention center and there were people cosplaying as things that I didn't even know what they were, and I loved that I didn't because it meant that it's so much bigger than anything I could know about and it's sparking someone's joy. And that's what I so appreciated. I was like, oh, I may not know that character, but it's bringing joy to that person. And so many people were running over to them, taking photos with them, whatever. And that's the thing that for me has been like the best part of all of this is being able to connect with people and having an idea, whether it's, for a different comic book or this or that, or like something like Jay and Silent Bob, where I go like, I think this is going to be cool. I hope other people do. And everyone's like, well, this is cool, So that's been the most satisfying thing is like whether it's me or anybody who works at Archie or people who approach us with ideas, writers and artists where they say, "Hey, I want to take a swing at this." And I'm like, "Let's do it." Or the editorial team or whoever's working on that particular project like, "Let's do it." And you take something out of nothing and make it real where it's a physical comic that people are holding in their hands, which, for you I'm sure is the same sort of very satisfying thing. It's like to your point, you've never done an Archie variant before and you're like, let's do this, let's take a swing at it. And like you guys knocked it out of the park. It's freaking awesome. And like people love it. And like I love it. I'm sure people buying at the shop are like, I need this. And it's so emotionally satisfying to like say like, hey, I had an idea. It's bringing joy to other people. Like that's what it's all about. It's the shared language we all maybe have different lives, backgrounds, whatever, but that's where we all connect as human beings through storytelling. And, in terms of the biggest challenge, it's just, surprising people, adapt or die, take nothing for granted. Archie's been around for coming up on 85 years, but like, there's a lot of stuff out there. You can't just assume or be arrogant. It's like for me, it always begins with telling the best story possible, having the highest quality books. It's like if you're going to ask somebody for their money, you better deliver for them. You know what I mean? It's like you can't expect that, people are just going to spend their money because it's Archie or this or that. You need to deliver stuff that's like going to be of the highest quality and also finding ways to surprise them. Like somebody asked and it was a cool idea, but before we announced it like, hey, should we tease a little something? And I was like, no, we can't. We shouldn't because this is on nobody's bingo card.
That's
And I just want to announce it and everybody go, I had never considered this. And now that I've heard about it, now I need it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I can't live without it. It's like the best thing is surprising people. It's giving them things they didn't even know they wanted and hopefully them having fun. Well, also to your point, staying true to how the characters are, like working within that a little bit too. Because if it gets too away from it, then it's not going to ring true, you know? And even if you've never read an Archie comic before, something will feel off. Shakespeare or other characters, Batman, Superman, whatever it is, all these characters have endured for hundreds of years or 100 years or whatever it is. There's a certain truth to them. And staying true to that while surprising people is always the toughest challenge. So,
Both universes are very much their universe. Nobody
yeah,
strays too far. And I probably read that book once a month. It just sits on my
I love it.
bedside table and it's just fun. It's just a I have a pile of comic books I should be catching up on, but that one's just a fun read.
We keep
And
pulling you back.
oh, dude, I'm telling you, and the dynamic between Randall and Archie is so awesomely ridiculous.
Isn't it
It
incredible?
works. It works. If you haven't read it, please,
Yeah.
we have them on our website. Pick them up because
Pick them up. Pick
everybody
them up.
needs this book.
It is a great Christmas gift, a stocking stuffer for the loved ones in your life, or even yourself. You could cozy up on Christmas Eve or Christmas morning or whatever holidays you celebrate and have a good laugh. I promise you it will bring a smile on your face.
That's right. And you know what? I have to give a shout out to Ming Chen from Comic Book Man. He's
Yep.
right there on the cover. Boom. That's from one of his promo pictures. We did an
Another
in-store signing.
incredibly nice human being.
Isn't he great? We did an in-store signing. He was there promoting the book as well. So a lot of
Yeah.
our sales are due to Ming. So I just
Yeah.
definitely want to give him a big shout out. Kevin was at AMC doing the Dogma tour.
Yeah.
And I knew he was there, so I showed up not only to see the movie, but to say hi to him as well. You know, I told him I was like, dude, we're gonna jump in on this variant. So he was like, during the Q&A, raise your hand. I'll ask you a question, and we'll plug the book. And I'm
That's so
okay,
awesome.
dude. So I raised my hand, and I've got it on video.
What's your question, guy?
My question is this. I don't know if everybody knows or not, but Jay and Silent Bob are meeting Archie and the Riverdale crew.
For those that don't know, I also write comics, and in July, I think it is, I wrote a book called Archie Meets Jay and Silent Bob. One of my favorite things I've ever done, Jay and Silent Bob hanging out with the fucking Archie gang. I absolutely adore it.
So I manage a comic book shop in the Woodlands called The Adventure Begins, and we're doing our very
it called?
first The Adventure
The
Begins.
adventure begins. Anybody know the comic book store?
Oh, hey, how are you? So after 6.5 years, we're doing our very first store exclusive.
Yeah.
So my question to the audience is, if we got Kev to come in store and do a signing the next time he's in Houston, would you show up? Yeah?
All right, now can Kev pose a question to you?
Yes.
Kev's appearance fee is ridiculously high. I
Well,
don't
let's
know if
talk.
$50,000 to bring me to a comic book store signing.
Come on, man. The next time you're in Houston, just drive on by.
Free fucking.
Yeah.
I can try to work it. It's not going to happen when the book comes out because I'll be at my own comic book store doing a signing.
Right.
But
No. Just the next time you're in Houston.
next time I'm in Houston?
Yeah,
absolutely.
maybe.
Dogma 2. No.
Yeah.
If I'm through, absolutely I will do it.
Thanks, man.
Give it up for my man.
Like,
I love it. Yes.
you know, that's how you got to trap the celebrities.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Totally, dude.
We've got some Archie like TV shows and movies and things coming out, which is going to be great. So we have to touch on the Riverdale show. You played multiple characters across the Riverdale universe,
Yes.
and landing on Bernie Bernstein in season
Yes.
7.
Yes. Bernie Bernstein. So it was super cool and so fun. And I really appreciated the opportunity. Yeah, it was just, it was great. And like, look, I'm so proud of the show and everything. And it was such a journey just to get that made. You know what I mean? Going up there for the first time and seeing like the Pops diner lit up. And it's like they built a real diner.
A full working diner?
A full working diner. The show shot in Vancouver, and it was like about a good half an hour, 45 minutes outside the city. You drive out and you could see the Pop sign in the distance and everything because
So
it's
cool.
a full working life-like diner. I wasn't there for this particular day, but apparently there was a truck driver, on a long haul drive, and he saw the diner, and he pulled in to the sound stages and parked and got out and was like, "Hey," like he went in to like order lunch, and they're like, "Oh, this is a film set. Like it's not real." And he was like, "Oh," he was so bummed. But everyone took care of him and gave him, there was food and stuff,
Craft
crafts and
services.
everything, craft services. So they hooked him up with a nice lunch and everything. So he did get to eat, thankfully. But it looked so convincing. He was like, "Oh, great, perfect. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna have a burger or whatever." And yeah, so it was pretty cool. And being able to see certain things from like what is on the page of Archie Comics, like come to reality is just it was so crazy. It was so fun. And yeah, and getting to be a part of it and being on the set, it was just a wonderful experience.
Can you imagine that guy's story when he's like telling his friends? He was like, "Yeah, man,
Yeah.
I pulled into this diner. Like now I'm like in Riverdale." And they're like, "What are
Yeah,
you
it was,
talking
yeah,
about?"
exactly. It was like it was so wild, So I'm glad he got taken care of. But yeah, I mean, I got to be honest with you, I don't blame him because when I saw it in the distance, I was like, "Holy crap, that
Oh man,
is
that's so crazy.
it's so crazy." It was so cool.
Riverdale, they took some pretty big
Yeah,
swings, man. You had horror, music, musicals, time jumps,
totally.
alternate timelines. Kind of did
We had a lot
everything.
going on.
Yeah, man. Was there like a creative swing that was like your personal favorite or to be a part of or to
Yeah,
witness?
I mean, just the first season, even in and of itself, was so unexpected. And I remember, going through the process of trying to get the show made, people having different perceptions of what Archie could or couldn't be on film or television or whatever it is, and the history of it, and kind of landing on this, murder mystery, teen soap, Twin Peaks, sexy drama, version of Archie. We'd been pushing a lot of different stuff in the comics about what Archie could do, whether it was Life with Archie, the death of Archie, the Fiona Staples reboot, the horror stuff. Like we knew Archie had flexibility, in
Mm.
terms of its storytelling, again, as long as it stayed true to the characters. But, people who weren't as aware of that, who aren't maybe comic book fans, convincing them of what it could be, it was challenging. Seeing the first season come to life particularly was incredibly satisfying. And I remember we aired it at San Diego, also the pilot episode, the year before, the 6 months before the show came out. And it was the first time like I had seen it, and I had, seen other people see it like in like a test thing, but I'd never seen like the public see it. And I was like, we'll see how this goes. Like, people were laughing and clapping and cheering in the right spots. And I was like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I think this is going to be cool. I just think the cast was so great. They were so amazing. Being able to find those young actors who just did such an amazing job. I think for me, that was the most satisfying of it, is seeing what they did to bring those characters to life on the show. I mean, it was really cool.
I was pretty stoked because during the Comics Pro interview, like I was just in the comics going, "It's Bernie, dude. It's
Yeah,
Bernie."
yeah. And I will say this, for me personally, when I stepped on that set for the first time, because that was something for season 7, he works in a comic book company. It's sort of a little meta thing, and being like seeing all the comic book covers around, where I was like, holy crap, I'm at like an alternate version of the Archie offices. Like it was so incredible. Like that was so amazing. And a lot of the covers that you can see them, they're real from like our history. Seeing all of that craft put together, it was like it was just amazing. It was just amazing. I don't know how they did it. I'm so in awe of people's talents, like set designers, the art guys, the costuming. Like I'm just in awe, man. There's so many talented people out there in the world. It's like I'm just lucky to breathe the same air as them sometimes. You know what I
Well,
mean? It's so cool.
do you guys have like an Archie vault or museum?
It's a great question. So a lot of stuff over the decades, hey man, 85 years ago, some people didn't think, hey, this will be worth something. But, we have a lot of our stuff very well archived, very, digital. And we know a lot of people that are serious Archie collectors where for like, hey, we need something, for a collection or something, we know exactly who to call.
Ghostbusters!
A lot of our stuff is really digital, and we have some cool stuff, you know what I mean? And there's some stuff where I'll pull it out of a box and I was like, how is this sitting in a box? This is insane. Like this should be in a museum. It should be in the Smithsonian. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
this is crazy. We do what we can and we do everything we can to preserve stuff, whether it's digital, even reprint stuff and all of that. We have as much as we can of originals, and whatever we don't have, at least it always, stands the test of time and people could always access those great stories and those works.
Yeah, for sure. There should be an Archie museum out there somewhere one of
I'm
these
hoping,
days.
man. I started as an actor. I went to college for acting, went to NYU Tisch. I was actually in the theater program. So that was something that was always a passion of mine.
Acting.
There was an opportunity for me and my family to be more involved, which there wasn't when I was younger. I always was interested in storytelling. I always wanted to pursue something with film or acting or performance or whatever it is. That was always what interested me the most. And then the Archie opportunities came about actually when I was in college, and I went, well, this is something I never anticipated for me or my family in that way. And it's how could I not explore it, and for me, as somebody who just loves this stuff, whether it's I'm working behind the scenes, whether I'm working on comics, whether I'm performing, whether I'm acting, whatever it might be, it's I kind of view it as the same skill set. It's all coming from a different angle, which is just again in service of the story for other people. I love it, and it really gave me a foundation for again, like always remembering, like, hey, like there's an audience, even in comic books, I view it as there's an audience. I may
Mhm.
not see them because it's somebody who's going to a store and they're buying the book, and sometimes I get to sit with them while they read it, but a lot of times I'm not, but there is, and it's a contract with them. You owe it to them to deliver the best story you can, the highest quality book you can, and don't take anything for granted. I really try to be, whether it's the artwork, overseeing the covers, whatever it might be as meticulous as I can and as we can. And, the staff is just amazing and the editorial team at Archie is just amazing. And their passion for it is just off the chart. I just love working with people who just love making people happy. That's what it's all about.
So with the new stuff that's coming out, is it going to be like animated? Is it live action?
Live action.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Live action. And there is some animated stuff that we're kicking around ideas on, hopefully. And if this one happens, Chaz, I promise you, you're my first person I'm calling to let you know. Hey, but just know there's ideas being kicked around for sure.
Very cool. Dude, I'm so stoked, man. I'm so stoked. Speaking of all the acting things and all that jazz, when you put on your producer hat,
Yeah.
is there like a big difference on how you approach the storytelling compared to the acting?
No, it's a great question. And obviously the tasks are very different,
Mhm.
but to me it is that thing where it's like again, it's in service of the story and also like this is for me is like I just tell myself, check your ego at the door always. It's like, if you know better, go do it yourself. Working with writers, working with other actors, working with a director, whatever it might be, it's like everyone's ideas are valid. It's all about finding what the best idea is. There's times where like I'll come in with something and I'll go, hey, it should be like this. And someone goes, what about that? And I go, whoa. I didn't think of that. And let that be the thing. You know what I mean? It's all in service of the best idea, And then there are other times where I go like, hey, I kind of think this makes sense. Or when I put on a producer's hat, for me, I try to come to it from a place of yes and, which is if someone comes in with an idea, I go, let's take it. And even if I think it needs more work or maybe we need to, keep shaping it, it's like I try to not give notes that are negative
Mhm.
because even if there's things I think maybe don't work so well or whatever it is I try to hone in more on what I do, what I think is working within the idea or the story and say, hey, let's expand on that. And then I kind of find the parts that maybe didn't work as well or weren't as interesting kind of naturally fall away just because there's not enough space for them. So for me, I kind of try to approach it in that sort of a way. And I feel like that goes back to just even a actors training, a performers training is listening to your partner. They always say like, listen to your scene partner. And it's the same thing. It's like listen to whoever your writer is, your other team is, it's like listen to them and try to get to the thing that works. And by saying like yes to stuff, I generally find we get closer to the story the writer or whoever it is trying to tell, as opposed to kind of being like, well, just do it like this. Well, well, then go do your own project. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Don't
Yeah.
collaborate. It's a collaborative effort always from beginning to end, and I always try to hone in on the things that are working, if that makes sense.
That seems, like the sensible and the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it kind of boggles my mind because I was in
I've
leadership.
encountered so many people who don't work like that, and that's
No,
why I
right.
do, because I'm going, as soon as we're done with this thing, I will be cool, will be pleasant. As soon as we're done, I'm never working with you again. You're making this a joyless experience for everybody, and I'm going to do the exact opposite of what you do. When it's crazy how many people don't think that way. And look, maybe it works for them. I don't know.
It's hard for me to process that. Just like in every aspect or every job that there is, there's somebody who has that it's my way or the highway for the
Yeah.
most part. What is the toughest part about producing that no one ever talks about?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. Look, there are a lot of tough. You know what? It's just being patient. Things move so slowly, and I just don't understand it. And look, like producing a show or a film, of course, it takes a certain amount of time, and you can't move it any faster than that. But just like being able to be like, hey, do we want to do this? You know what I mean? It's like, just tell me. It's cool if you're not interested. You know what I mean? But like, just tell me. And it's like the pace of like it's like it almost takes like 5 lifetimes to get something to start, and then once it starts, things move. It moves like, I don't want to say lightning quick, but it's moving at a consistent pace. Whereas like the lead up to that, it's like it just seems like it just takes forever. And I say that to go, you just, if it's something you're passionate about, you have to just stick with it and believe in it and not give up on it, and just trust that like it will find the right home, the right team. It's like 1,000 no's to get one yes, and all that matters is the one yes. That's the hardest part. It's just sticking through the days where it's like, well, I believe in this, but no one's returning my call, and do I stop or do I keep going? And you just got to keep going.
Sometimes it takes like several years for somebody to
Yeah.
answer that call too.
Yeah, totally. When every time they say yes, they're taking a risk. In success, everyone will go, "Oh yeah, that's great." Of course, Murder Mystery Archie was a great idea. You know what I mean? But, before it was a success, everyone was like, "Well, I don't know about that." You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
meaning if things don't work, it's their jobs are being risked too. I do understand it. They have to be very specific and thoughtful about what they do, and that part I do understand, to your point. And it's just about finding that right person who goes, no, I'm willing to come along on the ride with you.
Now, I'm sure you've gotten some pitches throughout the years. When you're reviewing the pitches, do you guys have a thing that's like, okay, here are our characters, and these characters have to do A, B, and C, and D? Kind of like how I guess Marvel does with Spider-Man or
Yeah,
DC
it's a
does
great
with
question.
Batman.
Actually, for us, no. And I know I've said a couple times already in the interview, like, stay true to the characters.
Hmm.
And that is it's more of a feeling than anything. So to your point, like, oh, like it needs to hit certain story beats, like, no, it could be wildly, wildly different. Like, even with Jay and Silent Bob, the
Hmm.
crossover, it's like, I certainly wasn't going to tell Kevin what to do. The guy's a master, he's a genius, and he knows his characters better than anybody.
Snoochie boochies.
But like, we didn't really talk story. I didn't really have a story necessarily in mind of what it should be. But when I initially read it, I was like, oh, this is like really different. Like, what was cool about it was, like, to your point, especially like with Archie and Randall and all that stuff, is like Archie crossed over into the View Askew Skewdiverse,
Hmm.
whereas usually it's like, whether it's Predator or Ramones, which I love all those crossovers. It's
Yeah.
like them coming into the Archie universe. I didn't really expect the Archie characters to kind of step into his world,
Let's become superheroes.
which was so cool and so refreshing and so unexpected, and that's why it works so well. And so I said it to go, it's your point, it's a great question. It's like, there's no specific things they need to hit. It's more just, is it a good story? Is it something I'm enjoying reading? And even if it's a wildly different story beats or take on Archie or whatever it might be, it's like, if it's good, it works. If somebody comes in with something that's so different but so true to how they see it,
Hmm.
that also works, I would say 99% of the time.
That just means Archie's just gonna live forever with stuff like
Yeah,
that, which is
totally, man.
really
Hey,
cool.
man, he's been a high schooler for 85 years, and God willing, he'll be in high school 85 years from now, long after I'm maybe no longer around. So
Well, here's a really cool crossover that I've been getting messages about
Yeah.
from my comic subscribers, and it's already been announced. It's Archie meets Army of Darkness.
I'm so stoked for it. We're gonna have more to share soon, but we've obviously shared the first covers and all that stuff, and I'm super super stoked for it. Should be coming out in the new year. I think we announced the release date, it's February. If we haven't, well, look for it then. We had a great call with the folks at Dynamite. They're like, we really want to do some crossovers, and we were kicking around different ideas. Army of Darkness came up, and I was like, oh, absolutely, that's it. That's we got to do that because it was just so wild that I was like, it's gonna be so much fun. So I'm so stoked for it. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be super
Oh, I
awesome.
have no doubt about it. Is it going to be a one shot?
It is going to be multiple issues.
Oh, very cool. I read that that was releasing. It immediately brought me back to one of my favorite crossovers. Betty and Veronica meet Vampirella and Red
Yeah,
Sonja.
yeah, really cool.
Not only were the covers just amazing, but the
Yeah.
story was really fun. You guys are
Oh,
killing the mashups, dude.
thank you, and we got more coming for sure. Stay
Yeah,
tuned.
I can't wait. Dude, is there a forgotten or underused Archie character you'd personally love to see back in the spotlight?
Oh, that's a great question. Super Duck is like one of my absolute favorite characters, and if you don't know Super Duck, check out the history of Super Duck. It's very cool. I'm a big fan of the Archie pets. I'm a big fan of all the hot dog Vegas, Reggie's dog Vader. We got a bunch of cool Archie pets as well. I kind of want to figure out something for the Archie pets at some point.
Everybody nerds out about something. And you did mention video games. Is that the thing that you nerd out about?
I was such a gamer nerd in the best way. I was that kid that like had like Pokemon on Game Boy from Japan. You know what I mean? Like I was that kid in school. I had Pokemon Green from Japan. You know what I mean? Like that was my thing for sure. And I was a huge gamer and game collector and still am. And that was always my thing on Friday nights. I still do it, man, as an adult. It's like, I'm like, hey man, got a new game. I'm staying home. I'm playing Donkey Kong Bonanza right now. Getting
Yeah.
all the Bananium gems or whatever, man. I like everything, whether it's Nintendo stuff, JRPG stuff, Metal Gear Solid. If it's a good game, I'm into it.
Right on. You got a top five
Of games.
throughout all the games in history.
Yeah,
Maybe not what you're
so
playing
Super
now.
Mario World
Oh,
on
okay.
Super Nintendo, Ocarina of Time, of course. I'm actually a big Metal Gear Solid 2 guy. I think Metal Gear Solid, the original, blew my mind when I was a
Mhm.
kid and played it. I just was like, I can't believe stories could be like this in games and plug the controller port in the other port. It was like
Yeah.
so I was like, this game is incredible. But I think Metal Gear Solid 2 for me was just like a defining moment of gaming for me. Maybe Sonic the Hedgehog 3,
Okay.
and Knuckles where you plug it into you'd have the Sonic and Knuckles, you take the thing, you plug the game on top. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. The lock-on technology. So I think I think that's my like top five. Hey, or Chrono Trigger. I don't know. Maybe Chrono Trigger would bump one of those out of there. So
Right on. See, I was a big Game Genie guy.
yeah,
I was
dude,
cheating my way all
absolutely.
through those games, dude.
Totally. Game Genie. I had the Game Shark too, also, which is like the competing Game Genie. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
This interview was unlocked by donations to the Texas Children's Hospital. What's something in your life that made charity or community work feel important to you?
Archie, does a lot of different stuff in general with different charities and stuff, whether it's donating books or our artists doing custom drawings and all of that. And I love giving back. Again, it's all about making people happy. And any which way I can do it. We've put up like a drawing for a charity auction or whatever it might be. And I'm always like, I don't know. I hope somebody's going to want this. And people are bidding on it, and they're like, "Oh, it was the such a big success. Thank you for donating. You helped us raise all this money for whatever cause it might be." And to me, it's just like any which way I can give back and help. It really does just puts everything into perspective. It's the point of all this is to bring joy and to help make people's lives better. So for me, it's any which way we can make an impact. That's what it's all about. And it might sound really simple and it might sound a little cliche what I just said, but I mean it. At the end of the day, this should be fun. There's too many things out there trying to zap joy from people and this and that, put pressure on people, and there are people out there that really need the help. Any which way you can make someone's life better, make a kid's life better, whatever it might be, putting a smile on somebody's face, even just the tiniest little impact. If you make one person's life better on any given day, you've made the world a happier place. I really believe in that. I really mean that.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah, I was
very
getting like
cool.
I stumbled there because I was getting a little emotional with like opening up, but like I mean it, you know?
This turned into a Bob Walters interview, man.
Yeah, exactly. Hey man, you're gonna ask the hard hitting questions. I'm gonna give you serious answers back, man.
If you could use your platform to spotlight one cause or issue that you care about, what would that be?
Yeah, it's a great question because there's so many different. I only get one. There's so many different things.
Oh,
You know
yeah. How
what?
many?
I will say this: if there's one thing I could, if you need a furry friend, adopt a pet. They need homes. There's so many out there that would love a loving home. If you're thinking about it, do it.
Extra Life started with a little girl from Orange, Texas, and we end this interview with an icon with orange hair and the man who's got something to do with him now, Jesse Goldwater. Thank you so much for the interview. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait
Thank
to see you in LA.
Totally. No, we're definitely going to do it. And thank you for having me. And this is truly just such a wonderful cause. And anything we can do to raise money for this, it's just wonderful. And thank you for letting me just be the tiniest little part of it. And it just means the world to me that I was able to be included in this incredible charity and this incredible event. Let's raise a lot of money and help some folks out there. I think it would be really amazing. So thank you. And yeah. We'll do it again next year.
Dude, I would love it, man. So
Yeah.
we'll see you back next year. And you people, what you got to do, man, we've got some more milestones to unlock. Who's next? I don't know, man. You got to donate to
Ooh,
find out. So
exactly.
I'll see you on the stream, dude. Thanks, Jesse.
You got it.